Hello everyone, it's Professor Sadiq Noor, and today I'm gonna show you and demonstrate to you how to complete one of the Excel project assessment. Through this video, I will go through the steps to complete Excel Chapter 2 project assessment. All right, so let's go to the assignment first and show you where the assignment is located. So I am in the Canvas. I will go through the assignment tab or the button in the left-hand side, and then I will scroll all the way down until I see the section that says Excel project assessment, which is under this section project assessment. So I will also gonna create video regarding PowerPoint chapter 2 guided project assignment, and also I will be creating a video to demonstrate to you the PowerPoint chapter 2 project assessment. So for my audience, if you want to follow the steps that I'm gonna go through this project in this video, I will attach the file that you could use it, and then you kind follow the step with me. So the first thing is we have to download the starting file. So to do so, I will click Excel Chapter 2 Project Assessment. To finish up this assignment, obviously you need to have Microsoft Excel installed in your computer. So when I clicked the assignment, obviously you are not gonna see these project assessment due dates and all this. So you're gonna go straight to the assignment like what you see right now. So the assignment is about the project assessment in Excel Chapter 2. So what we're gonna do, first we have to download the starting file. Without the starting file, you won't be able to complete this project. So you need the starting file. And then you can also download the solution so that you could see what the output should be after I completed the steps, right? So I will click on Start File. When you downloaded the file, right? When you click to download the start file, you will see that automatically the file name was Mary's Rental, but it has now your first and last name. That's perfect, right? So the file is being downloaded under the Windows 11 download section of your computer, which I'm gonna show you, right? Now, the next thing, you will scroll a little bit down to your assignment instruction. As you see, we are in the view instructions. So in this case here, you will go down, and I'm going to demonstrate to the advanced project 2-7. Now, if you go a little bit down, what is the objective and the skill covered in this project and in this video? I'm going to show you how to create, how to copy, and how to edit the formulas, how to name the cell ranges, how to use formula and auditing tools, how to use relative references and range names for formulas, how to use the XLOOKUP function, and then how to use the SUMIF and the COUNTIF function. All right. So these are the skills covered in this project. The next thing we want to do, we have to now read the instructions. So scroll down, and then that's where you have to start the project. So the step to complete this project, right? So before that, I want to show you something here. This one if you guys have a Mac or Windows computer, so for the Windows, you have to leave the bar, the blue bar in the Windows because you are using Windows. If your device is a Mac, then you have to move the circle blue to the right hand side, right? So in my case, I'm using Windows computer, so obviously I will leave it as under the Windows. So if you scroll a little bit down to the steps here, so the first thing they said, you will check the boxes, which one you completed. So the first one I'm here, make mark the steps and as checked when you complete them. So in first step is open the workbook. Excel file is actually is a workbook, right? An Excel file consists of worksheets, all right? So they said we have to open Mary's rental -02 Excel. That's the starting file that I downloaded. I show you in my previous step. If the workbook open in a protected view, which is going to open in a protected view, click the enable editing button so you can modify it, right? The file will be renamed automatically to include your name. Change the project file name if directed so. So obviously, as you saw, when I downloaded the file using Firefox, you see the name already is Sadiq Nur Mary's Rental, right? So you don't need to do anything. Automatically, it's gonna pick your last name, your first name and the last name, right? Will be part of the file. So let's go to the File Explorer under the taskbar of your Windows 11. I will go to the downloads, and then that's the file here. I will double click it to open it. So what they said in the first step is that when you open Excel, you will get the protected view. And if you look in the title bar here, it says that Sadiq Nur Mary rental file is what? Protected in a protected view. So the first step is we have to click enable editing. Now, if you look at the title bar, it says my name, but there is no protected view. So we are good now. So a little bit about what is Excel. Microsoft Excel is a powerful spreadsheet app that allow users to organize the data, complete calculations, and make decisions, graphic data, create professional looking reports, publish organized data to the web, and access a real time data from a website, right? So the four major part of Excel is that you have workbooks and worksheets. You can create charts, you can create tables, and it also support the web support, right? So what you see now, what you see in front of you is the worksheet, right? So a workbook, Excel file is a workbook, right? So a workbook is like a notebook. Inside the workbook are sheets. These are the sheets you see down here. We have inventory, rentals, revenue. So these are the sheets. If you want to add more sheets, you can click on the plus sign to add more sheet. It depends how comprehensive is your workbook, right? That you want to create. So inside the workbook are sheets, each of which is called worksheets. So the sheets that I show you here, where my mouse is showing you, we also call them worksheets. We call them what? Worksheet. All right. So first I want to explain to you what Excel is all about. Worksheet. All right. So the sheets in Excel is called what? Worksheets. So a worksheet is a single sheet in a workbook file that let you enter and manipulate the data, perform calculations with data, and also you can analyze the data, right? So the workbook obviously is a collection of worksheets. So you see here, I have only one workbook, but it consists of three worksheets. You see here, inventory, rentals, and revenue. And you can add as many you want. All right. So worksheets allow you to enter, calculate, manipulate, and analyze the data, such as numbers and text. All right. So the term worksheet and spreadsheet are interchangeable. So you could say worksheet, you can say spreadsheet. So they are interchangeable, the terms, right? So the next thing in Excel, how many rows and how many columns? So obviously the columns are represented by alphabet. You see here it says A, B, it says A, it says C, right? This is the columns in a worksheet. And then the rows are represented by numbers, if you look where my arrow indicates. So columns, columns in your worksheet are equal alphabet, okay? The alphabet. Whereas the rows is represented by numbers, all right? Numbers. So the question is, how many columns and how many rows we have in a worksheet? So the column we have is almost 16,384 columns. How many rows? We cannot finish all this. So the rows is too much in here. So it's almost is about 1, 0, 4, 8, and then 5, 7, 6. That's how much rows and columns we have. So a cell is the box formed by the intersection of the columns and rows where you enter the data inside a cell, right? So each worksheet in a workbook has 16,384, and it has the 1, 1, 0, 4, 8, 5, 7, 6 rows, which makes a total of, so the total of 1, 7, 1, 7, 9, 869 cells. So when you add up, you end up with 17179,869 cells. So only a small fraction of the active worksheet appears on the screen at one time, right? So a cell is referred by its unique address or the cell references, which is the column letter and the row number location that identify the cell within a worksheet, right? For example, like A1, right? So if my cursor is in the cell A1, so that will indicate that whatever the value is in A1, B1, B7, B20, and so on, right? One cell on the worksheet designated the active cell. So whenever your cursor is inside a cell, that's your active cell. Is the worksheet cell into which you are entering the data, right? So with the other thing that I want to share with you, you see here in the top, that's your tabs. Most of the Microsoft applications, they have tabs, right? So the tabs like home, insert, page layout, formula, data, review, view, and help. And then you can get the contextual tabs. Below the tabs, from here all the way to the editing, this is what we call the ribbon. You have seen me in my previous videos. I do explain all these. So ribbons. The ribbon consists of groups. These are the groups. Clipboard. It has names. The group has names. Font, alignment, number, styles, and so on. So when you click any of the tab, the ribbon will change accordingly. When you click any of the tab, the ribbon will change. And then obviously you will see a new group with different names, and also within the groups are the commands, right? So this is the command, this is the command, and then the boldface, the italic, all these are what are the command, right? So the next thing, if you see here, the most important thing here is your formula bar. This white area here is what we call the formula bar. So anything that if you move your anything you type, anything inside the cell, if you move your cursor over it, it's gonna display in the formula bar. Right? The formula bar. And next, in the left of the formula bar, these three guys here is the fx is to insert a function. So you have more than 300 function, 3 plus function, 300 plus function in Excel. So the fx means to insert functions. And also you can notice that the tab that says formulas in the top, it has all the function library in Excel. Function is like a predefined. Suppose if you want to sum a list of value in a column, I can use the function sum. And if you want to count how many values I have in a specific column, then I will use the count function. So we have different kinds of function for the stats, for financial, for the tax, for the database. So that's why I said it's more than 300 plus functions that we have in Excel. The check sign means if you typed anything in the formula bar and you want to execute it, instead of pressing the enter key, you can just click the check sign. That means I want to enter it. And X means I don't want to. So don't enter the value. To delete it, you can say. The next box is very, very, very important. It's the name box. The name box tell us where where currently I'm located inside the cell, in what cell I am. So this will indicate, like suppose if I'm here, my cursor, my pointer, my active cell, you can say this is my active cell. So the active cell will say, the name box will say I'm in G, and then whatever that row is, so that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 19. So it's gonna say G10, right? So it's gonna say G10, all right? So G10 is gonna display here. Now, if you look in the name box right now, my cursor is what the box says. The name box says A2. So obviously I'm in A2 right now, which is the 9863. All right, so that's the active cell. So the name box is very, very important. It tells you, suppose if you want to go to row number 200, instead of accessing the scroll bar to get to A 200, 500, you have to scroll like until you get to A 500. Just I will go to the name box and I will just type it A 500. Straight I will go there, right? So this is your sheet tabs. It's gonna show you all the sheets that you created. If you wanna create a new one, you will hit the plus to add a blank worksheet. The status bar, it says Excel is ready to go, as you see here. And then we have accessibility is good for the people with physical challenges. And then you have a horizontal in the bottom here. And then you have the vertical scroll bar to move up and down in your worksheet. And then these are the views. Excel is always a normal view. Then you can change the different views. And then this is the zoom to zoom it. If you move the bar to the right, it's gonna be zoomed bigger. It's gonna be your worksheet. If you wanna make it, you wanna shrink the view, then you could zoom it to the left. All right. So that was a little bit introduction about Excel. And then the next thing is that, like, suppose if you move your cursor over the icon, it's gonna tell you what they are. So that's the next view is the page layout view and the page break preview. And this is your zoom. If you wanna zoom it, hold the left key of your mouse and drag it. See, and then that's the 100%. All right. So now let's start with the assignment. So let's go back to the instruction. So we did open the workbook and then we clicked enable editing button so that we could edit the file. The next one now to calculate the weekly and the monthly rates. So the first thing is we have to click on cell E2 on the inventory sheet. So first, be sure that you are in the right sheet, right worksheet, which is the inventory. And then we want to go to E2, column E, row 2. So as you see that it changed to gray, right? It's indicate where you are looking. So your active cell right now is E2, right? So whenever you want to construct a formula in Excel, always you have to start with an equal, right? So equal is very important. Let's go back to the instruction. So they said the weekly rental rate is 96% of the daily rate for the 4% discount times 5 for 5-day week. All right. So we need to enter the formula and then we have to copy the formula. So obviously 96% is like 0.96, right? So we will go here and say the daily rental, which is the 250, multiplied by 96%, which is 0.96, right? Let's go back. 96%, 0.96 multiplied by 5. So why 5? So here they said 5 for a discount times 5 for a 5-day week. All right. So now once you tap the formula, press the enter key. So 1,200. I will zoom myself so you're gonna see well the formulas and everything. So the next now we need to copy the formula. So move back to E2 and then you see the small square box here. You have to fill it down. One way is just move your cursor until it become a teeny plus sign. You see that? I don't want the white big plus sign. I want this black teeny one. And then double click it to copy. All right. So we filled the rest of the cells with the formula. Now we need to find the monthly rental. So let's go back, check the option. So here the second thing is we copied the formula. Now select the F2, the monthly rate is 90% of the daily rate for a 10% discount time 30 for a standard 30-day month. So we have to multiply by 30-day month. So let's go back, start with equal. So the daily rental multiply by 0.90 multiply by 30. That's the formula. Push the enter key. So the monthly rental will be 6,750. You will go back to F2. You will click the square, or you can hold the square box and hold the left key and drag it all the way down, right? So the easiest is just go here and double click it. All right, so all the cell has been populated with the formula. Perfect. Let's go back. So we copied and we built the formula in cell F2 and we copied it down the column. So we're done with the step number 2 to calculate the weekly and the monthly rates. Now the next step number 3 is to name the cell ranges. To name the cell ranges. So from A1 to A17, and then we have to hold the control key of your keyboard and we have to select D1 all the way to F17 and we have to give it a name, right? So to do that, we have to select A1 all the way to A17. Now hold the control key because we are selecting a non-adjacent cells, right? So hold the control key, D1. So I need to do it again. So select, hold the control. I need to move up. And F. So D1 all the way to F17. So let's go back and read. D1 all the way to F17. So first you have to select A1 all the way to A17, then hold the control. Your finger has to press the control key in your keyboard and hold it and then select D1 all the way to F17. Once you see everything has been selected, then you're gonna go to the tab that says formulas, and then you will look for the group that says define names on the ribbon, and then you will click on create from selection because we already selected. So what we want to do here is that all these ranges, you see all these values will be given the name equipment ID, rental, daily rental, weekly rental, monthly rental, right? So instead of going here and say, let's say A2 all the way to A17, now the whole range will have an English name, which is equipment ID. Rental will represent all these numbers, right? So to create the name from the values in the top. So the top has the English word like equipment ID, rental, daily rental, weekly rental, monthly rental, right? So all these values here, we want to give them these names, right? When I'm going to use the formula, I will see instead of using these ranges, I will have these names, right? So I will click OK. So don't change anything because we want to name all these range, all these values by these names in the top. So click OK. Perfect. So let's go back to the step. Check what you did. Now verify that you created the 4 ranges in the name manager. So what you need, still we are in the formula tab, define name, and then click on name manager. And that's what you named. These are the columns: rental, equipment ID, monthly, and this, and then they have all these values, you see. Now all these values will be represented by these English name: daily rental, equipment, monthly rental, and weekly rental, right? And then we will close it, and then we will go back and read the next step. After we verify that everything look perfect, now we have to press Control and Home. Control and Home to go back to the top. So I'm in the equipment ID. As you see, that's the active cell. See the name box here? It says currently I'm in A1. Let's go and let's read number 4, step number 4. Evaluate and correct the errors on the rentals sheet. So the first thing we need is to click the rental tab. This data was imported from Microsoft Access database. An error triangle displays in money cells. So we need to correct it, right? So let's go first. We have to change the worksheet from inventory to rental now. Click the rentals. And you see the green indicate that there's error in this cell. Why? Because this data that you see here in the rental worksheet is been imported from Microsoft Access, right? So we need to fix it now. Now let's go back and let's read what we need, the next step. Select the cell A2 all the way to A47 and click the trace error button, right? The trace error button is this yellow, right? And then we have to select convert to numbers, all right? So we will go to select A2 all the way, hold the shift, hold the left key of your mouse and select until A47. And then this is what we need, the trace error. Click the small down black arrow and then click on, we need to convert it to number because now is in the right, you can say in the left. So it's like like a text. So we have to convert it to number. It moved to the right, right? So we have to go back and read what is next. Trace the error in B2 and B2 and C2 also, and then convert the B2 and all the way to C47 to numbers. So first we will select B2 all the way to C2 and highlight all the way to C47. Now go back to the top and look at the tracing error icon, and then we need to convert to number. Now I don't see any errors. Everything has been perfect, and then the numbers has been converted from text to a number. the values. So let's go back to the instruction. We did this, we did this. Now let's move down. Next, we have to use the XLOOKUP function to display the rate, right? Now, the thing is that if you don't have the XLOOKUP, you are using like an all Excel, then you can use the VLOOKUP, right? The VLOOKUP, you can use it. So, but we need to use XLOOKUP. So all the latest Excel 2021 and so on, Excel 365, they will have the XLOOKUP. But if it's not available, then to build the formula, you have to use the VLOOKUP, vertical lookup, and the formula has been given. All right. So select the cell G2. Notice that the data in column E is sorted by the type so that the daily rates are first, followed by the month, and then the weekly. So if you go here, let me zoom it. Now, if you look the E2, they have the daily. And then if you go down, they have the month is only 2. And then we have the week. All right. They already been sorted. Now we want to find G2. So click on G2. I'm in G2 now. As the name box says, I'm in G2. So what we want to do in G2, we want to use the XLOOKUP, right? Now, the XLOOKUP is going to be under the Formula tab. You have to go to the Formula tab. And then you will see the group that says Function Library. Go to the Lookup and References and scroll all the way down and look for XLOOKUP. XLOOKUP is going to search a range or an array for a match and return the corresponding item from the second range or array. By default, an exact match is used. So I will click XLOOKUP. When I click the X, I will get the dialog box. So in this dialog box, we have to populate these text boxes. So the first, it says, what is your lookup value? What you are looking at first. What's your lookup value? The lookup value is B2, which is the equipment 986. So select on B2. Now the next one, what's your lookup array? So let's go back and read. So start the XLOOKUP function with the cell B2 as the lookup value, which I show you. Then the next one, the lookup array is the equipment ID range, right? So we will go back. We will click on the lookup array, and then we have to switch. We have to click on this up arrow here. And then we have to click on the inventory. And then the equipment is here. So you need to select A2 all the way to A17. And then click the arrow again here to take us back to the formula box. And then the return value. Let's go back and read what should be the return value. The return value is the daily rental range. And then once we're done with it, we will click OK. I should get 250. So let's go back. I will click the up arrow. We're gonna go back to the inventory worksheet. And then I will move myself up. The daily rental, you will select the 250, which is D2, all the way to D17. And you see that because we named it, if you remember earlier, we named it the whole thing, right? So now it has the name daily rental. And instead of saying D2 all the way to D17, it has an English name now, daily rental. Now it says that your answer would be 250. Perfect. And see, these numbers are represented by daily rental. That's what we did in the previous steps. I show you how to name the column. And then this one, all these numbers are represented by equipment ID. After that, I will click OK. Now, let's read back. Now we need to copy the formula in cell G2 all the way to G35. Hold the square, not the thick plus wide you need the small tiny plus. Hold the left key of your mouse and drag it until 35. Until 35 here, right? So the 35 is actually is the monthly one, right? So what we're gonna do next, let's read the instruction. We did this. Now they said copy the formula until G3. You will edit the formula in the cell G35 to display the monthly rate. All right. So let's select the G35. That's why we copied the formula till G35 here. So select the G35 and let's go back to the formula tab and then click on the FX insert function. It's going to open the dialog box. So the only thing we need to change the daily rental. Now this is not a daily, that should be the monthly rental, right? Because it's the M, you see? Then we have to do the week. So I will take off this, I will delete it. I will click this arrow here, and then I will go to the inventory. I will go up. We will pick the monthly. Select the monthly, which is F2, all the way to F17. Now click OK. So let's go back to instruction. So edit the rental array to display the month. So whatever it was previously, I changed it and I replaced it by the monthly rental. Right? Now copy the formula that you have done it in G35 until 37. Fill it, hold the square box, hold the left key until 37. So 37 actually is W, that's the week. So we need to do the same thing I did for G35. So select the G37. So let's go back and see what they say next. Now select the G37 and edit the formula to display weekly rental, right? And then copy the formula in cell G37 to complete the column. So let's go back here and then let's click on, I'm already in the formula tab, insert function is gonna open to edit the formula, and then we're gonna delete this one. So I'm already in the inventory, right? So we need to click this guy here and then scroll up. We are looking for weekly rental. So select E2 all the way, hold the left key of your mouse and select E17. Once you see weekly rental, perfect. And then click OK. Now we need to fill it down. So you kind of double click the square So everything is done. Perfect. All right. We completed the rate. And then I copied. Now let's go to step number 6. Use the SUMIF to calculate the daily, weekly, and monthly income rentals. So we need to select E1 all the way to E47 and G1 to G47, and then we have to name it. All right. So we need to select, let's go to the revenue sheet, and then let's see what they said to change E1. So obviously it's still gonna be in the rental. So E1 all the way, we have to go back to the rentals. So we have to name this. So the type, then hold the control key, select G, the rate, hold the G, hold the control until the last cell, G47. So let's go back and read, did we did the right way they asked for? So E1 all the way to and G. So E1 all the way and then G. So you have to hold the control key because of the non-adjacent cells. Then create the range names for this selection of the cells and then press home. So we're gonna go back to the formula tab and then look for the group that says define names. And this time we're gonna use create from selection. And then we wanna name all these D's, M's as type, and then the rate, all these rates you see will be named as rate. So leave it as create the name from the value in the top, type and rate, and click OK. Perfect. Now control and home. Control key and home. So we are back to the rental ID. Now click the revenue sheet tab and select B4. So now we have to go to the revenue worksheet. As you see, my mouse is indicating, click on it. Now I will zoom it so you're gonna see what I'm gonna do here. So we are in what sheet? The revenue. Now select B4, column B and 4, row 4. So that's B4. We want to find that daily rental income. All right. So to do that, we will go back and read. So click the revenue sheet tab and select B4. So we did that. Now select the SUMIF function with the type as the range argument. So let's go back. We need to go back to the formulas, and then we need to go and find the math and look the SUMIF. SUMIF, you see the formula SUMIF? SUMIF adds the cell specified by the given condition or criteria. So you have to indicate a condition like which one, and then all those will be summed together. So SUMIF is going to open the SUMIF dialog box. So what's the range? Start the sum function with type as the range argument. So we will click here, and then we're gonna go to the rental and the rate. Select G2 all the way to, and see the name is rate. Okay. Which one? What's the criteria? Okay. Let's go back. Type D for the daily income as the criteria argument. All right. If you type the formula, remember to include the criteria within the quotation mark. So we are not typing it. We are using the dialog box, right? So automatically just type D. D for the daily income. So here I will do D, right? And then click on the last one. Sum range. What's the range you want to sum? Let's go back and see which one they said. So use the rate. So here I did wrong. It should be the type. So let me go back and fix it. See, this should be the type actually, not the rate. So I will change it. Delete. Sorry for that. The type, which is this one. From this, that's the type. All right. And which type? My condition is the D one. And then I want to find the sum. So click the up arrow, go back to the rentals, scroll up, and select G2 all the way to G47, and then perfect. So the range is the type, and which type we are looking at the D, the daily one, and then we want to sum the rate. Now click OK. Perfect. So we show the result for the daily income is 4,590. 4,590. Perfect. Go down. You can check the boxes. Now let's go down and copy the formula to cell B5 and B6. So we have to copy this formula to B5 and B6. So hold the fill handle and fill it down, which is wrong now, right? So select the B5. Now edit the copy formula to change the criteria as needed, right? So use the sum in B, uh, use sum in cell B7, all right? So let's go back, and while I'm in B5, I will click the FX, and this time we will change this. The criteria is the M now, and then click OK. And then let's go down here. That's the monthly rental. So select B6, go to the formulas tab, click on the function library group. The first one is insert function, and change this to M for monthly rental, and click OK. So with this one, let's see this one again. It should be, this one was W, weekly. So I was wrong. This one should be W. All right. And this one was the rate, and then M because of the monthly rental. So perfect. This will be D, W, and then this one will have the criteria M. I don't have any errors. So let's go back and read. Format the B4 and B7 as a currency with no decimal place. So highlight B4. So select and then in the middle, hold the left key of your mouse and select B4, B5, and B6. Go back to the Home tab and then go to the number group. Click the drop down and select currency. And we don't need the decimal place without a decimal place. So to remove the decimal place, you will have to go back to the number group. This one is increase. We don't want that. We need decrease. Decrease. So we want to take off the decimals. Perfect. Now let's go to B7. B7, we have to use the sum. We have to sum it. So obviously before you remove the decimal, we were supposed to sum this, but that's okay. So you could go back to the group that says editing here. So first you have to be in B7 and then editing and then click on auto sum, or you can click the drop down and sum. So it said that you want to sum something in B4 all the way to B6. Perfect. Press the enter key. So 31515. All right. So let's go back. And then they said from B4 all the way to B7, it should be currency with no decimal place. I don't have any decimal place and everything look perfect with the dollar amount. Now let's go down. Step number 7, use the COUNTIF to count the rentals by the type. So select B9 and start the COUNTIF function from the stats category. So B9, you will go to the formula tab. You will go to the function library group, click for more stats, and this time we are looking for COUNTIF. COUNTIF. COUNTIF counts the number of cells within the range that meet the given condition or criteria. So counts the number of cells within a range that meets the given condition. Click on it. It opens the COUNTIF dialog box. So what's the range? So use the range name as type, and the range arguments will be the criteria D. We want to count it now. So the range, we will click here. We will go to the rental. We're going to select. So I'm in the rental worksheet. Select E2 all the way to E47. And then the type is D. We want to count how many of the D we have. All right. Click OK. 33 of them. I will copy the formula. Now we're gonna go back here. So if you want to read. Now they said copy to 10 and 9. And then edit each copy format to change the criteria as needed. We need to change the criteria. So once you copy it, you will go here, select the insert function, and then we want to change the D to W for the weekly rental. And just click anywhere or click OK. Is 11. Now click the B11 Click on insert function, change the criteria, delete or backspace, and then that will be the M for monthly. Perfect. So we're done with that. Let's go down to step number 8. Add a border and fill. Select the cell A4 all the way to B11, A4 all the way to B11. A4, let's read again. A4 all the way to B11 and open the Format Cell dialog box and verify or select the last. So what we want to do now is that we're going to go here and then we're going to go back to the home, and then we could go to these here, the font group, and then we can go for more border and it opens the format cell, or you can do right click and format cell, and automatically we are in the border tab. All right, verify or select the last style option in the column on the left, a single solid we want, right? So verify or select the last style. Select the last style. So let's go back. So be sure to select the solid. That's the last one, the style solid. And then click outline in the preset section. That's the preset we need, outline. All right. Now click the middle vertical position in the border preview. All right. In the middle. Now click the dotted line style, which is the third option, first column in the style section. That's the second, right? We selected the second now. And then click the middle horizontal position in the border preview area. You can also see the output in here. So go back. Perfect. Perfect. And then click OK. Click OK. Next, select A3 all the way to B3 and A8, B8, and A12 and B12, right? So the next one, we have to select A3 all the way to B3. Now hold the control key, select A8 all the way to B8, and then still hold the control key, select A12, and B12. Select A3 to B3, A8 to B8, and A12 to B12. Then we need to apply a black text one, lighter 50% in the second column fill color. We have to fill now. So go to the Home tab, go to the font group, and then the yellow bucket is the fill color. And then we want number second, black text one, lighter 50. Now click and see it doesn't, so do it again. Highlight, hold the control key, select A8 all the way to B8, then still hold the control, don't release it until you select A12 and B12. Now let's do it again. Sometimes it does not, so do it again. Now, perfect. If you don't see the color, then it means you did not did it, so do it again. Now, select A1 all the way to B12 and use the center across the selection. So A1 all the way to B2. You see the alignment group under the Home tab. Click the small down gray arrow. And then you see the text alignment horizontal. Click the down black arrow and choose center across selection. And then click. So we want to merge the cells actually. That's what you have done. Check the box. Now increase the font size for cell A1 and A2 16. So select A1, A1 all the way to B2. And then we want to go back to the Home tab, font, and then we want to change the size to 16. Perfect. Go back. Now we need to center the sheet horizontally. Center the sheet horizontally. So for that one, we have to go to page layout, the tab that says page layout. And then you see the page setup. Click on the down arrow, which is the launcher. And then go to margins and then center on the page. As you see, the content is so much in text to the left. So we want to make it in the center. So pay attention to the preview here. So when you choose horizontal, you see it move and in the middle on the page. And then click OK. Now let's go back and then insert a header with the file name in the right section. So go to insert, go to the group that said text, click on headers and footer, click in the right box, and then we need the name, the file name. All right, and click anywhere. And then let's go to view and then change it to now is in page layout. That's why you see it's messy. So click normal to get back to normal. Perfect. And then press Control Home. Control and Home. Now save and close the workbook. And then upload and save your project and then submit for grade. So I will save it. I will close it. Now I will go to my assignment. I will go to my assignment. Once I'm done, I will scroll all the way down. I will click on Excel chapter number 2, and it's gonna open up like this. When you click the assignment, it's gonna open like this. Now you're done with this one. Now it's time to upload to see what the grade is. Click upload. Now you have to go to your downloads. It depends where you have saved it. So in my case, I saved it under the download. So click on the file, Sadiq Nur Mary Rentals. Open. Now I will click yes, submit the file. As you see here, I scored 100%, which is all the 22 steps. So I scored 100. All right. So my good student and my subscriber and my audience, this file, I will I will put it under the description. So if you want to follow the step with me, the way I have complete this assignment one after the other, uh, the data file, I will attach it for you below the video description. So you can download and then you can follow with me the steps that I went through. So I hope that you learn a lot from this project in Excel, and be sure that to subscribe to my channel. Be sure to like my channel, and also be sure that to tell your family, your friend about the channel so I can create more productive videos for you guys. Enjoy and have a nice day. Thank you so much.